What if I told you that nothing in your life is random? Not the people who hurt you, not the doors that closed, not even the small coincidences you dismissed as chance. What if every moment, every success, every failure, every wound and every blessing was only a reflection of your own soul, projected outward for you to see? This is the principle of the mirror, a truth that most resist, because it means no longer blaming the world. It means daring to look inside. The anger you feel, the rejection you carry, the patterns you repeat. They are not punishments. They are mirrors, faithful reflections of what lives within, waiting to be seen, to be healed, to be transformed. And here lies the paradox. You cannot change the reflection by fighting the mirror. You cannot smash the glass and hope for peace. The only way forward is to shift the source, to awaken the soul inside. Tonight, we dive into this mystery. We will explore why resistance keeps you trapped, how relationships become sacred mirrors, and why even the collective world around you is nothing more than a reflection of humanity's inner state. By the end, you will no longer see life as random. You will see it as a sacred dialogue between your soul and reality itself. Every soul, sooner or later, discovers a truth. Reality is not separate from you. What you see outside, what you attract, the patterns you repeat, the relationships you draw in dash, all of it is a reflection, a mirror, showing you not the world as it is, but the world as you are inside. This is the principle of the mirror. Think about it. When anger dominates the heart, conflict appears everywhere. When fear guides the mind, life becomes a battlefield of threats. But when love grows silently within, suddenly the world feels softer, more welcoming, almost as if it has changed. But the truth is, it wasn't the world that changed. It was you. The mirror principle teaches us that the outer reality faithfully reflects the inner state. No exceptions, no accidents. So if you want to change what you see out there, you must first change what lives in here, in the silence of your soul. Most people live their entire lives fighting with the mirror. They don't like what they see, so they try to smash the reflection, to argue with reality, to force circumstances to bend without touching the source. But here's the paradox. The more you resist, the stronger the reflection becomes. Think of a person angry at life. They curse their misfortune, blame the world, and demand that others treat them differently. Yet every word they speak, every thought they repeat, is charged with anger. And what comes back to them? More reasons to be angry, more mirrors of their inner storm. Resistance is like shouting at the glass, hoping the image will smile back. But the mirror is innocent. It only reflects. The key is surrender, not resistance. To look at what life is showing you, not as punishment, but as feedback. Every challenge, every relationship, every recurring struggle is reality whispering. This is what lives within you. This is what asks to be healed. Until you stop resisting, the cycle repeats. The mirror doesn't only reflect the obvious, it also exposes the hidden parts of you, the shadows you deny, the wounds you bury, the truths you're afraid to face. This is why certain people trigger you so deeply. It's not really about them. It's about what they awaken inside you. When you meet arrogance, ask yourself, where do I carry pride I refuse to see? When you meet dishonesty, ask, where am I lying to myself? When you meet rejection, ask, what part of me still feels unworthy of love? The mirror is ruthless, but it is also compassionate. It will never show you anything that isn't already within you. This is why the same lesson appears again and again. New faces, new places, but always the same wound. The soul is patient. It will keep placing mirrors in your path until the day you finally pause and whisper, maybe it's not them, maybe it's me. Maybe life is trying to show me what I have refused to see. The hidden self is not your enemy. It is your doorway to transformation. But first, you must dare to look. The mirror teaches a painful truth. Blame changes nothing. You can spend years pointing fingers, accusing the past, resenting others, and yet the reflection stays the same. But the moment you stop saying it's their fault and start whispering, what is life showing me about myself? The energy shifts. Responsibility is not about guilt. It is about power. When you accept that every situation is a mirror of your inner state, suddenly you are no longer a victim. You are the creator. This doesn't mean others are innocent of harm, but it does mean that your reaction, your healing, your transformation are in your hands. Blame is heavy. It chains you to the past. But responsibility is light. It sets you free. And in that freedom, you finally hold the key to change the reflection itself. Every reflection points back to a wound, a moment where the soul split, where pain became buried, where a false belief was born. Maybe it was a childhood rejection. Maybe it was a betrayal. Maybe it was silence, the kind that leaves invisible scars. We cover these wounds with layers: anger, control, perfectionism, distraction. But the mirror never forgets. It keeps showing us people and situations that reopen the cut, not to hurt us, but to remind us that healing is unfinished. When you choose to stop running, to stop blaming, and instead sit with the wound, something shifts. The reflection softens. The lesson loosens its grip, because life no longer needs to scream what you've finally chosen to hear. Healing begins not with fixing, but with seeing. Not with doing, but with allowing. Every relationship you have ever lived was a mirror. The friend who betrayed you, the partner who abandoned you, the teacher who inspired you, the stranger who showed you kindness. None of them were accidents. Each one carried a reflection of your soul back into your hands. Sometimes that reflection is beautiful. You meet someone and feel instantly at home because they reflect the love you finally learned to give yourself. Other times, the reflection cuts deep. You meet rejection, silence, or cruelty, and it feels like the other person is to blame. But if you dare to pause, you may hear the whisper, "This pain is not new." It is the echo of something unhealed inside you. Relationships are the most honest mirrors of all, because in them the soul has no place to hide. The mask may fool the world, but not the intimacy of connection. It will always bring your shadows to the surface. Think of the partner who triggers jealousy. Behind the mirror may lie your own fear of being unworthy. Think of the friend who disrespects you. Behind the mirror may live your own forgotten boundaries. Think of the one who loves you purely. Behind the mirror is the reminder that you are, in truth, lovable beyond measure. When you understand this, conflict begins to feel different. Instead of asking, "Why are they doing this to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this showing me about myself?" This shift changes everything, because suddenly relationships stop being prisons and become classrooms. Not places to punish each other, but spaces where souls come together to reflect, to trigger, to teach, and ultimately to awaken. And if you take this lesson seriously, if you treat every relationship as a mirror, then every heartbreak, every bond, every reunion and goodbye becomes sacred. You no longer cling with desperation, nor reject with bitterness. You begin to see each person as a teacher, each encounter as a contract fulfilled. The mirror of relationships is rarely gentle, but it is always precise. And once you accept its truth, you stop wasting time blaming others, and you start transforming the reflection within. The mirror is not only personal, it is also collective. Just as individuals see their wounds reflected in relationships, humanity as a whole sees its consciousness projected into the world it creates. Wars are not born from nothing. They are the reflection of inner violence, the anger we carry, the divisions we nurture. Corruption is not an accident. It mirrors the places where we, as a society, choose comfort over truth, silence over courage, forgetfulness over responsibility. And yet, just as with the personal mirror, the collective one also reveals beauty. Every movement of compassion, every act of justice, every voice raised for peace. All of these are reflections too. Proof that beneath the shadow, humanity's soul is still awake, still seeking to remember who we are. The question is not, why is the world like this? The question is, what in us is being reflected here? And how can I, by healing myself, help to heal the whole? Because transformation does not begin with politics, with revolutions, with shouting at the mirror of the world. It begins quietly, with the individual soul daring to see itself, to change, to awaken. And this is where reflection becomes practice. Because if you don't record what the mirror shows you, if you don't pause to really see the lessons, the cycle repeats. That's why I created something sacred, a companion for those who feel ready to walk deeper. It's called the 19-Day Awakening. It's not just a journal. It's a mirror within a mirror, a place where you can write what life is showing you, track your dreams, recognize the patterns, and slowly transform the way you see reality. Each page is an invitation to stop resisting, to start remembering, to bring the hidden lessons into light. If this resonates with you, you'll find it waiting in the first pinned comment below. And when the time is right, you'll know it's for you, because the collective changes. Only when the individual dares to awaken, and perhaps that awakening begins with your pen on those pages, the greatest lie the mirror shows is separation. You look at the world and see me and them. You see enemies and strangers, success and failure, light and shadow. But in truth, there is no them. There's only us. Every person who crosses your path is reflecting something within you. Every group, every culture, every ideology. All of them are fragments of the same soul, wearing different masks. The illusion of separation keeps humanity asleep. It convinces us that the problem is always out there, that peace will come when others change, that love will arrive when others behave, that healing is possible without looking inward. But the mirror never lies. If you see hatred, it's because hatred still lingers in the human heart. If you see division, it's because division still lives within the collective. And if you see love, it's because love has begun to awaken inside you. Separation is only the surface. The truth is unity. One field, one soul, reflected into countless faces. And when you begin to see life this way, judgment softens. You no longer cling so tightly to your opinion, your identity, your wounds, because you realize hurting another is only hurting yourself in another form. This breaking of illusion is not philosophy. It is practice. It is choosing compassion instead of blame. It is choosing presence instead of reaction. It is seeing through the mirror and finally recognizing yourself everywhere. The world outside does not need fixing. It needs remembering. It needs individuals who dare to live, as if separation was never real. And when you live this way, the mirror shifts. Slowly, the reflection changes, because the illusion has lost its power. The mirror never lies, but it can change. And the way to change it is not by forcing the reflection, but by shifting what lives within. This is the true alchemy of the soul. When you begin to cultivate peace inside, conflict loses its grip outside. When you practice gratitude, life begins to reveal abundance. Where once you saw only lack. When you choose forgiveness, relationships soften, cycles close, and freedom begins to flow. Creating a new reflection is not instant. The mirror waits for consistency. It waits for alignment. It reflects not your passing moods, but your deep, repeated choices. So ask yourself, what do I want to see in the world around me? Love, compassion, joy. Then where in my life am I practicing them now? Because you cannot demand a reflection that you do not yet carry within. The world is not a vending machine of desires. It is a sacred mirror of your state of being. This means every thought matters. Every word plants a seed. Every action is a brushstroke on the canvas of reality. And slowly, as your inner garden transforms, the reflection begins to shine back differently. You see doors open where before there were only walls. You see healing in places that once carried only pain. You see people returning to you in new ways, not because they changed, but because you did. This is creation, not by force, not by resistance, but by becoming the reflection you wish to see. Once you understand the principle of the mirror, life itself becomes your teacher. No book, no guru, no philosophy can show you more truth than your daily reflection. Every situation whispers feedback. Every person holds a clue. Every challenge, every blessing is a mirror placed gently in front of your soul. The question is no longer, why is this happening to me? But what in me is being reflected here? When you live this way, you stop fearing life. Obstacles turn into signals. Pain turns into guidance. Even silence becomes an answer. Imagine walking through your days with this awareness. A rude word no longer ruins your peace. You ask instead, what inside me reacts to this? A sudden opportunity no longer feels like luck. You ask, what part of me has finally opened to receive? Living with the mirror as a guide means no longer living blind. It means embracing reality, not as enemy, but as ally. And this changes everything. Because when reality becomes your ally, you stop fighting. You start listening. And the soul, at last, can breathe freely. The mirror was never against you. It was always for you. It was always showing you the path back home. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You are forever changed. So now you know. Life is not against you. It has never been. Every challenge, every disappointment, every repeated cycle you thought was bad luck was only the mirror, showing you what lives within. The moment you accept this, the game changes. You stop fighting reality. You begin to listen to it. You stop asking, why me? And begin asking, what is this teaching me about myself? And that shift is the beginning of awakening. The mirror has always been faithful. It never lies. It only waits for you to see. So let me ask you directly, what reflection is life showing you right now? Is it peace? Is it fear? Is it love waiting to be remembered? Share your answer in the comments, because your reflection may be the same lesson someone else is trying to recognize in their own journey. And if this message touched your soul, don't walk away unchanged. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications, so every week you're reminded to look deeper into the mirror of your life. This is not the end. It's the beginning of seeing differently. And once you see, you cannot unsee. The mirror is always there, waiting for you to awaken.